ATL. I'm your host, Renee Rails. We bring to you the movers, the shakers, and today, the entertainers. We've got two huge guests for you. Terri Vaughn, you might know her, huge actress from the Steve Harvey Show, as well as a variety of movies. And also, you can't have the Hollywood of the South without having casting directors like Pierre, who's going to tell us how to get in on this movie-making magic. Atlanta is known as the Hollywood South now, and did you know casting directors here are huge? Right along, the #1 movie for the past 3 weeks was casted by none other than my guest, Pierre. George, how are you today?
I am well, Renee. Thanks for having me here.
I have a feeling you probably have some really good stories.
I have a lot of good stories for that particular movie.
What's your best
it was
one?
A pleasure. Well, when we did the explosion. And this is going aside from casting, but this was my first time seeing a building exploding. And can I tell you, we were probably a few hundred feet away and you still felt the heat from the building exploding. Oh, I want to keep doing movies like that.
Now, I have to say, I have still not been able to see the movie because every time I go, it's been sold out.
Well, that's a good
left.
thing.
Yes,
Okay,
so for
that's
you,
a good
good for
thing.
you. This
Yeah,
only
it's a good
means
thing.
bigger things, so I can't wait to see that part. Now, a lot of people don't know exactly what a casting director does, so can you fill us in?
All right. Well, from the casting standpoint, we get the script. The studio, the producer hires us. We break down the script per character. Now, there are times where you may have an LA casting director or an Atlanta casting director. For this particular film, you have both an LA and an Atlanta casting director. The cool thing about it is you can still be able to, as an Atlanta casting director, be able to cast some of the LA roles that may be coming out of LA because there's such phenomenal talent here in Atlanta. So we get the script, we break it down, we submit it to the talent agents, and at times, because we want to keep it open to a large majority of people, because we want to find the best talent for the role, we submit it to Actors Access as well, to talent that may not be represented by an agent. So from there,
by the way, let me stop you right there because
you
you made so many actors' dreams come true by saying that right there. Because right now, so many actors are trying to get agents, and it's so difficult. So you do still cast from there.
I do, and I think one of the great things from there is because a lot of people, the agents, not their fault, but they can't see everyone. So, which is why I believe Actors Access was created, and from there, as a casting director, I can find more people who aren't represented. So, yeah, I believe in even posting it on Facebook, because when we did Scary Movie 5, I had to find a lookalike for the most interesting man in the world, the Doseki guy. So that was interesting in itself. And this person, we went to South Carolina to find this person.
Really?
It wasn't in Atlanta.
So when someone comes in, is there really that it factor?
There is.
There is.
There is. Here's what happens. You sit there and you're auditioning, and talent will come in, and you're like, okay, cool, great. And then that one person comes in. I like to call it a breath of fresh air, because that person just totally changes your vibe and what you were thinking as an individual, and what the producer was thinking, and what the director was thinking, and totally blows you away. And you're like, oh, you're it. Oh, you are it. Yes. Now it's going to take somebody else to beat that, what you did. So, you put that person there, and hopefully nobody else comes in and just,
knocks that one out
of it. Because if it does, then it makes it harder. You're like, oh my God, they were great. And they were great. But I love it. I love giving people that opportunity, especially Atlanta actors. This is home for me. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, but this is home. And Atlanta has been great and phenomenal. And the actors here are just talented. And they're capable of doing roles that people wouldn't expect them to do. We did No Good Deed probably a year and a half ago with Idris Elba and Taraji Henson. Another phenomenal. It hasn't come out yet, so I can't talk about it too much. But just for the actors that were on there, that we cast, I love it. I love it. The majority of the cast, I want to say, which is probably 3 to 4 people that were out of LA. The rest was here. And the producer, Will Packer, was adamant on hiring local actors for them. Same thing with Ride Along. He wanted to find more local, phenomenal actors for the movie.
So before we go, what is the one thing an actor needs to do when they come in the room with you to make a good impression?
Know that it's okay to be nervous. Just don't let it convey. It's all right to be nervous. I'm probably nervous right now. But it's okay to be nervous. And know your lines. If you flubber, if you mess up, don't show that you messed up. Just keep going. I may give you another opportunity to go over it again. And if I ask you to go over it, that means you probably did well. So, a lot of actors tend to want to get scared because the casting director says, hey, can you do this over for me? Or I want to see it this way. And their mindset is like, oh, but I've already practiced it this way. Why are you asking me to do it this way? For the simple reason, I want to see if you can take direction.
Great notes from George Pierre. Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Coming up next, Terri J. Vaughn. What's hotter Atlanta than an NAACP Image Award winner? Well, Miss Terri Vaughn is here. You've seen her in a billion different movies, television, plays, everything. Thank you so much for coming.
A billion, though? A billion?
A million, not a billion. Times 10. Times 10. So what brought you here to Atlanta?
Actually, love brought me here to Atlanta. Yes.
Now, hold on a minute, because all the women on here are going to say that are watching, Atlanta has no men.
I don't know what to tell those girls.
Well, I guess you got to be Terri J. Vaughn. I guess you got to be Terri J.
Yeah, I met my husband. I was still living in LA. He was living here. And once we decided we were going to stay together, be together, get married, and have a family, we were kind of debating on if he was going to come to LA or if I should come to Atlanta. And it just made more sense for us that I moved to Atlanta. And so that's actually what brought me to Atlanta. And everyone was like, you're crazy. Why are you leaving? How are you going to work? Blah, blah, blah.
And obviously you found a lot of work.
Yes.
Very cool. Well, yeah. I know a lot of people are watching and listening thinking, you don't have Levita's voice.
Thank God, right?
Now,
it comes out every once in a while.
Did you come up with that yourself, or was that something really?
Yes. And about my third season, I was like, oh my God, I still have to do this voice. That is a true statement.
But
I was like, oh my God.
everyone loves you because of that voice and still knows you.
Yeah,
from
it's
that.
fun. I love her.
Now, so you never get sick of people calling you Levita?
No, I can't.
You know, a lot of actors down here, as you know, Atlanta of the South, Hollywood of the South, they're taking classes with people that aren't working actors. What would you say to that?
Well, I don't know. I only know what it's like to take class with me. I've never taken any classes here in Atlanta, so I don't know. I've heard that there are some good ones. But for me, because I think the benefit of studying with me is that I am still a working actress, so I still understand your plight. I know what you need to do to go into the audition room, how to prepare, because I still have to do it. So I think that that's a huge benefit for studying with me, along with a ton of other reasons. But I think that that's the hugest benefit. Is because I really know, because I walk the walk.
That's very true. And, you know, we had George Pierre on here.
Yeah.
And now we have you on here. And I think a lot of people are interested because movie making is so big here now. Mm-hmm. How do they get in it? How would someone, if they wanted to be an actor, how do they even get started?
Well, you know, for me, the only way to get started is to study the craft. And then the rest of it kind of unfolds depending on your dedication, your time, the time you want to commit to this business, because, you know, it's a hard business. And just because you study and just because you're pursuing it, that doesn't mean that you're going to blow up and be a star. And I tell people, my job is to help you become a working actor. And to me, that's way more important than trying to blow up and be a star. Yeah, I just want to work. I could care less about being famous. I care a whole lot more about being able to get up and go do something that I love to do and get paid for it.
So if people wanted to take classes with you, how do they go about that?
Well, what I've done now, because my class is by invite only, because I really just want to work with people that are serious and dedicated and that I know have something that I can work with. So I have two students that have been studying with me for the past 4 years, and they teach my beginner's class. And so I recommend people that have never taken it before, or if you haven't, I do take by referral. If you haven't been referred to me or invited specifically by me to come teach, to take their class. And I always pull people out of their class when I see, oh, okay, that person's ready. So I'll pull them, and then they become in my class. So if you want to take the beginner's class, the email address is Terri J. Vaughn, TJV classes @gmail.
And we'll make sure we put it at the bottom of the screen too.
And just send an email for class information, and we'll send you all the information.
Well, Terri, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
appreciate it. And thank you so much for joining us. Table 33, we really appreciate you having us. And you know what? Make sure you check us out on whatshotATL.com. Until next time, I'm Renee Rios.